Welcome. Welcome, returning and new subscribers. I am Goddess High Priestess Siempre, siempre salva la patena. I don't even know why that came out like that. So much. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So there's a lot of things, maybe just one or two, may seem like a lot, based off of the energy it's coming from that you're going to be saying that you're like, wait a minute, where did that even come from? We already know Saturn's about to go into Pisces, right? So we know Saturn is the great teacher, the restrictor, the resistance to give you that strength thereafter. Pisces has a lot to do with their spirituality, the unknown, the subconscious mind. But this also speaks of where you help yourself. So with Saturn in Pisces for this next 2.5 years, you're going to go through certain challenges and obstacles to strengthen your ability to first and foremost have faith and believe and know yourself before you sit here and give the authority of that power to someone else or something outside of you. So now you already see the energy of us stepping into the age of Aquarius, leaving Pisces. The age of Pisces, the collective has experienced, has been more so of the hidden aspect of Pisces, the delusion side of Pisces. And when I say delusion, it's more so to the effect where the collective could sit in the position of ignorance and actually stay there unless you take it upon yourself to look beyond that and trust the unknown. Trust where you're guided through the darkness and aligning with your light each and every time. And the way that you align with your light as you're going through the darkness, pay attention to what's going on within you. There ain't no coincidence in this world. And that show, Walking Dead, is a prime example as to why when walking through the dark, you can't trust the unknown because you'll fear it. But you're always getting answers day in and day out as to which direction to go in. That's all a witch is. Witch speaks of the directions of the four corners and then the other three. So 7 different directions. But all points of direction are already within you too. So this is where it's crucial or essential to align yourself with universal laws. As within, so without, as above, so below. Don't make it complicated. Welcome, Alana. Welcome. So yeah, y'all. I was doing a pre-shuffle and there was a lot of air energy coming through. But the air energy was more so of where you're actually learning to master your thoughts. And in you mastering your thoughts, it's more so you choosing now what you want to think about, because you're realizing the more you think about it, the more you're creating a feeling. Sistren. So the more you're thinking about it, you're creating this feeling. There is a very thin line where you can actually change what you're thinking about so it doesn't become something, and that something is a feeling. The moment it becomes a feeling, now everything in your world starts to literally personify or reflect that feeling. Moon sign, because the moon is reflecting off of the sun. Once again, as within, so without. It don't stop. These universal laws never stop. Okay? That's the most infinite and limitless form of an example as to what the human nature is, or the it of human nature. And it is, just is. Because it doesn't search for reasons to progress. It flows through the automatic essence of movement. As long as something is vibrating, there's movement. The rate at which it moves is a different topic. But something could be going so slow to you in your visual eyesight that it's actually moving fast, so fast that it's slowed down to you. This is why moments of stillness and, just being quiet with your inner self come in handy. Let's get into our messages. Hey. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe and Papa Universe. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angels, spirit guides, ancestors, protectors, warriors that guide and protect me. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the gods and goddesses that flow through me as me for you and I collected to use our mind's eye to see. I connect my heart and soul to my heart and soul, always in connection to the Most High. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Let's start with my deck. What's the energy here for the collective? We are approaching Saturn in Pisces and the full moon in Virgo, and my candle just turned off. And there's a lot going on at this point. Tranquility is important. We just talk about that. Okay, there we go. While you're doing so, you have an ability here to manifest through music. It's also going to help with the mother healing and simplifying your life. So, as far as Saturn in Pisces, water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Saturn is going to be supporting you for the next 2.5 years when it comes to stabilizing your life. But you're going to have to put work into this as well. Okay? You're going to be taking a more practical approach to life, and being a water sign, you're usually taking more of an intuitive aspect of it. So while Saturn is in Pisces, you're going to be more practical about the way you go about certain things. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, there'll be a shift in your relationships. Meaning, you're going to be holding yourself and others more accountable when it comes to their role in your life, and vice versa. So if you got a group of apples, this is like that process of removing the rotten ones, is what you'll be experiencing for the next 2.5 years. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. For the next 2.5 years, be mindful of who it is that you're sharing your sexual energy with, because you're having a cleanup of your astral body. So anything that's been emotional, it's being cleaned up. So this is why it's important for you to be mindful of who it is that you're surrounding yourself with. Welcome, Third Eye and Ocean Goddess. Welcome, loves. So just be very mindful of that. Aries, Leo, Sag. Working through emotional issues, putting things in order by understanding your own feelings and the psyche, your own psyche, as there's a cleanup of your astral body. Now, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You too will also be responding in a more practical way, although you are very logical, but you're actually going to put a lot of the things that you may overthink into action, especially in areas of your health, money, and things of that nature. Okay? So as you're having an increase when it comes to these areas in your life, just know that there could be possible challenges or changes that can make it feel like things are on the opposite end of an increase, therefore a decrease. But what's happening is you're being shifted to where you're supposed to go, to where you can actually exude that strength that you have from all of the resistance you've already had. All right, so we got that. As far as the collective, there's going to be a major shift when it comes to the healthcare system. You may see a lot of medical malpractices that are being revealed. You're going to see a lot more people from other countries coming into other different countries without paperwork. That in itself is just, oh boy. It's like when we get to the topic of immigration and things like that. If you don't know, 1111. And if you're new to this channel, the reason why I respond to that in that manner is because my roots, part of it, come from Hispaniola, what many would know as Dominican Republic or Haiti. It's the same island, separated by a riverfront. But that's a story in itself. You know what I mean? So it's like when I see that happen in other countries, it's never sat right with me. It never did, it never will. And you know why things of this nature can occur is because the ignorance to universal law. If the collective as a whole really embrace universal law, like I said, you wouldn't have issues with health, poverty, health on all different spectrums of whether if it's mind, body, or spirit. You won't see too much of this going on. But the only reason why it's happening, one, the ignorance, and the ignorance is coming from those who are educating the collective and letting them know that if they go about it this way, they're going against a principle of God, which is why I said in another video, you got to start asking yourself, what God are they talking about? Because once you realize what God actually is, and this is why you have this as the titled, as it's titled for these videos, generator, operator, destroyer. This is you. But God is a creator. Anything you put your hands on, you can manipulate either for a negative or for a positive. That makes you a God. When you turn nothing into something, that makes you a God. Anything that you can touch that seems like nothing comes from a space of nothing comes from a space of the infinite creator. Whatever that is that's happening right now. Okay. Because that's one thing my pops did mention, that whenever someone would get mounted by a spirit, because he would be able to get the spirit out of them, especially if it was one that was having them bang their head up and down these walls and furnitures, that if somebody was doing that wide awake and conscious, they're out of there. But because it's the spirit within them, they was just rolling around and shit. But he would notice they would have a certain sound or a certain vibration where they go, You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, okay. But that energy that I'm picking up on, it sounds like a child. Elegua. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What's the message here for the collective? That only happens when you see somebody get mounted by a spirit where they start hurting themselves, when they got no business tapping into things that they find amusing. It's amusing to that spirit get that ass. It won't be so amusing thereafter. Anyway, here's the message for the collective. Telling you, Saturn in Pisces entering Aries season. Speaking of the apocalypse, welcome. Welcome to the apocalypse. Everybody who thought they was about that life, it's like a game of chess. Checkmate. You about to really get checked this time. You about that. All right. Let's see. Let's see. And this ain't nothing about being tough. It's just more so, if you're gonna be tough about these government people who are sitting here controlling this here planet. Stop using this shit on the next person who don't got no idea about what you're doing. And if they do want to tap in, they're immature with it. Welcome, Jovi. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Let that shit go. The fact that these cards are covered out here. All right. You got Top Shata. Okay. You may have been seeing the number 616. Prior to coming on to this live, I was seeing 414, 515, and now 616 is here. So that's 111 in general. 456, you're literally going through an ascension process. You're leaving that realm of being in the underworld, okay? Especially being on this shamanic journey. The integration of spirit and soul with the body and collecting all fragments of the soul. And this could be any of your fire placements or fire planets. So that would be your Jupiter, your Sun, your Mars energy, okay? Wherever those are, that's the part of your personality where you could be picking up fragments of your soul. And that house that those planets are in, this is the area of your life where you're more than likely picking this up from, especially if you know your transits, where it's happening now, okay? And if you're Saturn in Pisces, although that's more so earth and water, but Saturn in Pisces, you're going through a major shift now as you are approaching your Saturn return, okay? So I would highly suggest Saturn in Pisces to watch this series, Info Coming In, Generator Operator Destroyer, from video 11717 on a timer, until I'll be closing out this series come on the 7th. Okay, we got here study sciences. The stars are aligning you. Your natal chart is highly significant at this time. Also tapping into your galactic signature, because within the next month, there's a lot that you're going to be receiving, a lot of information you're going to be receiving from your cosmic star family. So you want to be aware as to when this is coming. So this is like not missing your exit. You got the maps on, you got the GPS on, but you're still missing the exits. You know, in your natal chart, your galactic signature, your human design is going to allow you to know beforehand when that exit is coming up so you can prepare to take that route. Okay. Let's see. What's the energy here? The message that's coming in right now is I pause. If you are a fire sign, if you have fire sign people who are not aware or see astrology, tarot cards as taboo, they're about to go through a shift within the next 2.5 years as their astral bodies is being cleared out. So that can cause a lot of chaos in general. So this is a vibe where people are sitting here having attitudes or blaming you for shit that they don't even remember that they blamed you for, just literally the next day. Like it gets a little chaotic. It gets a little chaotic. So even if you have this in your top 3, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus too, North Node, South Node. Yeah, just be aware of that. Don't be aware in a sense of, okay, you know this is happening, don't let it get to you. Just get yourself away from that, okay? Because the same way you made the choice with your free will to decide on something, to decide on a much more calmer and joyful and harmonious life, they can do the same. But if others aren't doing that, you're not here to say it once, as we talked about in the last message. Say it one time. After that, you don't need to be saying it again, because obviously that's not for them. The alarm clock ain't go off yet. We got the Sun card coming out first. Okay. 5th house energy, Leo energy, your creativity, the inner child. here, projects that you have, owning your own business, stepping onto the path of you being a pioneer that you know you are, which also comes with you feeling like you have to take a risk. So be mindful of what it is that you're consuming, foods that you're eating. Make sure the foods that you're eating are actually making you stronger, because your stomach is highly sensitive right now. There's a lot of nerve endings that are connected to your stomach lining. It is your fourth brain. You got the cerebrum, your cerebellum, your medulla oblongata. Then you also got your solar plexus. Those are your four brains. You can connect those to the 4 points of direction, 4 corners. What else you got here? Blossom in abundance. 13, come through with the energy. Yes. Transformation. You're stepping into this space of the light now, out of the darkness. So you're being reborn. You're definitely being reborn here. Strategy and man holding the heart. 2145. What's this? Yo, what is going on? All right. Come through. We got the man holding the heart with a strategy. Different possibilities here with this strategy as well, because they've also had a journey when it came to what they saw as victory, but also being in energies of being of deceit. And we have the angel of balance helping with the heart chakra. So there had to be a period in terms of the balance of the heart chakra. There had to be a moment of financial constraints, like the financial constraints and the anxiety that you experienced from that had a lot to do with possibly the overthinking that you were doing when it came to certain caring connections. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're on your way to the door to personal healing and happiness here, okay? It's time for you to get some rest and rejuvenate yourself as your contracts are being renewed here. And they're going to be renewed if you allow yourself to detach from all of this attachment. Love is not attachment. Love is not attachment. Anything you attach yourself to, you can't let go of. And this is why you got funerals today. Happy family. So you're surrounded by a league of angels right now. Is what I'm hearing. Because you got Metatron. You're 2233 on a timer. 404 could be significant. 44. But this is the next portal that you're walking through as well, which also connects to Venus and Aries. So there's something that was shown to you at this moment while Venus went into Aries, which was, let me look at this one more time. Hold on. En la discoteca. En la discoteca. February 20th. February 20th. Let me see. Wow. Okay. Venus entered Aries at the same time of the new moon in Pisces. And with that new moon in Pisces, anything that started at around that time, 15 days thereafter, you had to really be mindful of what was unfolding. Was it for short term or for the long haul? 15 days would be by the 7th, full moon in Virgo. New moon in Virgo was the 27th, 26th of August last year. There's a completion of a cycle, but the completion of a cycle only comes when you bring light to the situation. So if you've been holding on to grudges, that's obviously not bringing light to the situation. That's bringing more darkness to it. And like I said, love is not attachment. This is where forgiveness for self is important. Because if you're still holding on to something, grudge, for instance, you're not giving that love to yourself. Okay. So let's go into the Celtic spread. Let's pull these cards now. Focus on the mission 606. So it's like 220, 202, 220, 303, 330, 404, 505, 606, 707. Those are important portals for y'all that are here at this moment. Some of you have been granted keys here as far as you being connected to the Solomonic lineage, keys of Solomon. But the fact that it showed up in reverse here, this could have been an energy that's been locked at the root of you, in prison here. Schedule that meeting. You got Pharaoh's blood that flows through you. Lunar eclipse, we keep pulling this energy. We had that total lunar eclipse November 8th, full moon in Taurus that we saw in the last two readings. The Elijah prophecy could be significant for some of you here. Something about dog bites. This is giving off the energy of the wicked being revealed. The wicked-ish. If you know, you know. Learn from the past and not stay in there, especially in moments where you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. With the emotional wound, Chiron keeps coming out. That which has wounded you also had great potential to heal you. This is why people got to be careful with how they go about certain situations where their ignorance makes them say or makes them feel that it is a high vibrational thing to look down on you when you're already down. Or vice versa. If that's you, just be mindful of what you're doing. There are great consequences for everything. You put out positivity, you receive that. You put out negativity, you're going to receive that too. So you're always going to receive what you put out there. And if you're receiving negativity in the midst of positivity, then obviously the negativity that you put out there in the past is catching up to you. That's all that means. Just handle it. You may have done things at some point where you were hop, skipping, and jumping around it instead of fully addressing the matter. And hop, skipping, and jumping around it means that you're dealing with it rather than handling it. Two different things now. Just like any card game, as long as the dealer is there, this game gonna keep going. But the moment you handle it, now you're stepping into a version of removing the wheat from the chaff or picking out the rotten apples from away from the great apples. Some people here got that around you got the Pinocchio syndrome. They could suffer from allergies. That's crazy. Why did it even come out like that? Listen, ain't not a thing in nature that you're going to be allergic to unless that part of you're ignoring within you. I'm not your medical professional. That's not what the fuck I'm here for. But I'm just letting you know. Okay? Plants, animals have a greater connection to the solar system than humanity does with the higher consciousness. Let's really be real about that. Then we got underworld gods and goddesses coming out thereafter. Let's get into our spread. I'm putting all these cards back. If they gonna come out again, they're gonna come out again. But shit. All right. All right. It's about to get serious. Yeah, serious family. Dog star. Yes. Switch decks. We're going. We're going. We're gonna do this right now. Right now. You have an emotional connection here. Some of you are about to step into an emotional, spiritual connection. Once you handle this wound, especially if you've been single for at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, last 6 months to 6 years. What deck is that? I'm not using that one. Hold on, y'all.
Hold on, baby. Hold on.
Because I've been seeing images from this deck all day. This Cleo's deck. So let's see. And I got 3 other tarot decks up here that we can clarify these energies with. We about to go in. You hear me? We about to go in. Let's get our moon cards like we were doing most recently. Welcome once again, new subscribers. If you want to know, I got a Sun in Sag, Moon in Virgo, Cancer rising. That's the energies you in over here. Okay? With a Mars in Aries. I don't take no shit. I ain't here to play with a Pluto and Scorpio. I love love and anything that is not really of that. Enough said. Current situation. Oh, okay. Current situation has to do with the adjustments that were required that you have made. Remember, last reading, this was in reverse. You're no longer letting your past hold you back. I love 3344. I love how these are just aligning with each other. Beautiful moments. Let's see what's the theme for the immediate past. Tomorrow and the 7th, we're going to be doing more so breaking down Saturn and Pisces, full moon and Virgo, based on your sun and rising sign, whole signs, as to where it'll be for you. As far as the immediate past here, we have the energy is gaining momentum. Let me pull one more here. I'm going to pull one more for both, actually. Let me pull one more for the energy is gaining momentum for the immediate past. What's this about? Because we are in the waxing moon phase, which is right before, this is wild, which is right before the full moon. And here we have be bold and make the first move. So everything that has happened your immediate past literally sets you up to make this adjustment that you're making now as we speak today. That's another number that's been showing up a lot, 550. You know, I love my numbers. See, the part of you that has Virgo in your chart is going to love numerology. Let me see. Wow. That was not what I intended to put, but if the same thing comes up, then it doesn't. Interstellar is on there. You have the first thing that shows up as the results for gematria of the number 550, Nazi, the Oz, Interstellar, human trafficking, hidden enemy, spy, Zane, Yesenia, Miriam, Lori Lay Bonds, Toy, Request, Expert, Zoe. It's time to go. Flip the script. Let's do it. Out of time. Okay. Let me look at this in the lexicon right quick. Give me a second. $5.50. Amnon. Faithful. Metaphysically speaking. Let's see. Give me 1 second. When we start diving into these numbers is when this shit starts to slow up. Just put it this way, humans are much faster than technology, but humans aren't that fully tapped in. Amnon, metaphysically speaking, a mental quality in man under discipline or in process of education. Would you look at that? When completed, this training will bring about faithfulness. The faithful attitude of thought and action was yet to be attained by him. To be attained by him means to actually be shown in the physical, that which is happening internally. Adjustments are required. Tell me more about this. Obviously, those of you that are on this channel are seekers of higher knowledge, because the way y'all be talking shit. Adjustments are required. Hold your vision. Okay. As far as what's happening next, advice, environment, hopes and fears, outcome, we got conclusions are within reach. Tell me more. One more. 2 cards. We have nothing will come of this situation, especially when it comes to things or situations where you are being blocked from your own faith when it comes to what it is that you have envisioned or your dream state. It says hold your vision. So we're gonna see how this looks. I just want to stop right there. Okay. Here we go. A time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. Okay. And we're approaching the full moon, and that's at the basis of it, the new moon. So the last 6 months, you have been shown, or you're aware of what you've been giving your energy to that has been taking, not it being reciprocated, for you to get connected to what you can give your energy to, where you're always at balance and you're not being used. What's the current situation here for the collective? Current situation. What's the current situation here? The Wheel of Fortune came out of reverse, and it was just 4014 on the timer. Oh boy, this is going to get kind of tricky here. Okay. Let's look and see what's going on. We got the Knight of Swords. So I feel like there's something actually unfolding now as we speak. Oh, shit. All right. Where's the moon at? It's in Leo. Moon and Leo could spark up a lot of conversations, a lot of dramatic conversations. This is like putting something to boil and it starts to overflow. In due time, it was going to overflow from the heat. What's crossing this energy of the Wheel of Fortune in reverse? The thing is, the underworld gods and goddesses came out in that deck that I have here. And you have Anubis. Anubis is rising up from the underground. So this is, so the way that I'm picking up on this energy, let's say if some of you may have felt like you were adopted or you were treated like an adopted child, or you may have a child who feels that way, pay attention to the way they're moving. But with Anubis in that position, is more so like those feelings and emotional wounds that you've had, that you may have blocked and swept under the rug, are now showing itself to you for you to handle it and stop dealing with it. Sometimes you get into situations or partnerships and you know off rip that you may not know off rip, but this could be, you'll know off rip if this is something that you continuously do. But let's say if you're going from the first to the second time of doing this again, this second time you're seeing where you may actually be choosing to embark on this journey, knowing good and well there's parts of you that you are diminishing. You know what I'm saying? You're not fully being yourself. There's certain things that you have to stop doing in order to be in this partnership. That shit got to go. Baby, no. What's crossing this energy? Five of Coins. Yep. The reason why the wheel for you feels like it's stuck, the Wheel of Fortune is always moving. This planet that you're on is always on a rotation. We're always moving. This is how I don't okay. This is where I say where people don't see. I was about to say I for something else. Where I don't see how people cannot see how things are constantly moving, and where change is like out of this world type shit. Like change is taboo. Literally change is taboo. But it happens every day. So for it to be taboo, it's just like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's forbidden about change? If you go to the depths of certain situations or words or conversations that you have, and you're actually aware, this is where you're going to see your life changing in an instant. Six of Wands, Two of Wands. Yep. Where you decide to cross the road. Let's clarify this. Why is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse? As the current situation with adjustments are required, hold your vision. Some of y'all got to do something now. Now. Before the full moon gets into Virgo. Because it can cause a shock. Just know if something causes a shock in your life when the full moon is in Virgo on the 7th, just know that you're aware of it now. Don't get too surprised where you're like, oh my God, I don't know. No, listen, this is why change being forbidden or seen as taboo is like, really? We have the Four of Wands here. This also holds the date of what we was talking about before. 4/14. But the Four of Wands is Venus and Venus in Aries. Venus went into Aries the same time the new moon went into Pisces. So you have been shown through your dream state, or just through moments where you get quick flashes of certain experiences as to what it is that you must handle. Some of you, because 505 also came up, some of you see Beyonce in your dream state. Forget about what the world is saying about her being a part of this and her a part of that. If you're seeing this woman in your dream state, there's something about her that you're seeing that's also you. This is what's being reflected to you as yourself. Native American could be significant too. You're being celebrated already by your ancestors, but I don't feel like you're in a position to be celebrated. It could be so much going on. You're like, why y'all celebrating me? I'm pissed off right now. Ace of Wands with the King of Cups. King of Cups is Scorpio energy, 8th house, Pluto. Mars energy too. But it's like you're the one who wants to put things together, bring your family together, but not everybody needs to be together, because this is, again, going back to that scenario of separating the rotten fruit from the actual healthy fruit. He has the Pisces necklace on his chain with the fish on his neck. And he has a ring on his Saturn finger. So this is something that you've been wrapped in for a while now. Let me see, that's literally the last 10 to 12 years. A whole Jupiter cycle. The challenge is that you can't see where you're left out in the cold. Why is that? It's like, I can't believe it. Going back to Pisces energy, you know what you believe is what you know. So this is like disregarding what you know when you say, I can't believe it, when it's been shown in front of you this entire time. What's the 5 of Coins as a challenge? Ace of Pentacles comes out in the same position as the 5 of Coins. You bring this 5 of Coins with this Ace of Coins, that's the 6 of Pentacles. You may have a moon in Taurus, or your emotions connected to memories about your core values when you actually decide to invest in what it is that you value to bring your emotional security. You start seeing who's who, but it's like I don't want to say playing yourself, because I feel like you're someone, or this is an energy of a person who is very kind and loving hearted. But these people know that, and they keep using you. Pisces. 5th house, someone you were in a relationship with that may have been a Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. I'm also getting Venus, Pisces. More so Venus and Pisces. You could be definitely saying Pisces as far as like you being that Pisces where it's like you want to help everybody, but you keep putting yourself in this position of being the wounded warrior. 9 of Wands. It's like you know better, but you keep doing this shit over and over and over again. Yeah, you keep doing it over and over again. Capricorn, possibly. So we got Capricorn, Pisces, and the 12th house. This is what I mean. You know exactly what I'm whoever you are, you know, even if you're not a Capricorn or Pisces, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because what's in between Capricorn and Pisces season? Ain't it Aquarius? I know. I know what's been hidden, but you keep ignoring it. That's why this came out like this. Venus in Pisces. Some of you literally got Venus in Pisces or Venus in Capricorn or Venus in the 12th house. If you got Venus in the 12th house, this is definitely you. You're going to have to undo yourself from a lot of belief systems, a lot of authority figures or people that you see as authority figures or feelings that you have towards authority figures. It's all good. That's why you're here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Come on. Let's see. What's at the basis of this? Told you. Once you align with what it is that you know, your beliefs change. There goes the star for Aquarius of the I know. So let's do this, right? Let's do it then. Page of Coins. And each time we receive the Page of Coins, most recently, we're about to go to the most recent card, most recent position, immediate past position, most recent past position. That's the card we're about to pull. And every time we got this Page of Pentacles, it was followed up by a 10 of Pentacles. So let's see what's in the immediate past here. Because with the star card, this is basically healing here. Healing of all 7 chakras, the root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, first eye, crown chakra. Yeah, put that work in. Let me see. Tell me more about this energy though. See, some of you are born entrepreneurs and the energy behind this is increasing. You just got to be bold and make the next first move. Make your next move your greatest move. Checkmate. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. So you see how the 7th pentacle is on the ground and then they're working on the 8th pentacle. This is you in the immediate past working on the transformation from the divine timing that has already put in place in your physical realm when it came to you actually applying the wisdom that you've gained through the challenges when it came to your emotional security and saying what you're supposed to say. Because the 5 of Coins is Taurus. Some of you are afraid to speak. Show me more about the immediate past here. You not speaking up has you walking back to a situation that you have a habit of walking back to. This is a toxic habit here. This could be someone who's really comfortable just being in an old paradigm of toxicity, 54. Let me see what 54 talking about. In the gematria, 611 right now too. Gigs up. They know now what you're doing, stealing from God's people. Anyone who tries to destroy prayers is beyond unforgivable. I'm not scared. I'll probably laugh at you. Why don't you test me? So you know what I just got from that right there? Just that in general. Is one side of you that if you take on this energy and you say something, you'll be glad for somebody to test you because you know the type of power you have, but you don't say anything because you know the type of power you have. Now, if you're not going to say anything because of the power that you have, stop feeling sorry for yourself or for them. Because you might as well just say something then. Just say. Okay. Then it says, I want to say thank you to my guardian angels for coming when I called out for help. All right, so, okay, whoever you are in here, there's something you don't want to say, you're not saying it, obviously, to whomever you want to tell it to. But just be mindful of your thoughts because you're still saying it. Even if you're not verbally expressing it, you're expressing it through your thoughts. And it's still creating the same energy, especially in this age of Aquarius, where it's more so of mindful awareness. Mindful awareness just, it speaks of the brain and the heart in alignment. So they're constantly communicating and it's still creating that same effect as if you would say something. Because every time you say something, there's water coming out of your mouth every time you say something. Notice how whenever you do speak, you can notice if your palms get cold, if it gets hot, if it gets sweaty. Okay, there's always water around. There's always the emotion of it around, is what I'm getting to. So you want to be more mindful of that. Okay. Show me what the moon cards have in relation to this. Some of you could be thinking of taking a step back when it comes to a career path, a job versus your work. And over on this channel, your job is something you can apply for. Your work is your soul's mission. Your work is something you create, and that builds you into the entrepreneur that you are. Your work, you're not going to be able to apply for because it's something you're going to create based on the work you've done. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. Venus and Virgo. Love for you is this providing service. And notice how in this Six of Cups, this person is leaving, but their face is kind of sad. Like, I don't mind celebrating with you, but shit, it's like every time I celebrate with you, I got to dim my light. Hence the sun going down behind this figure here. Here we go with this card again in the same position. Now, this is a great card, but where it keeps coming out in the recent past, there's a lot of people in your energy here. But it's time for you to rise up from that, though. As you are, because you're completing a major cycle here with this Nine of Pentacles. In the physical realm, you're completing a major cycle. It's like, if we're speaking of your passion, the fire within you, it's in the sixth realm or the sixth density, 60. But materially, you're manifesting through the 90. Okay. Lyrans is significant. Let me get the mystic oracles. Wait a minute. Mystic Martians, I mean. Pleiadians, you can do Pleiadian. Oh, you're Alpha Centaurian. You have great foresight. A lot of the things that you plan and the way you strategize, more than likely, this is why people aren't so comfortable with you, because you're so futuristic. But the reason why they can't really bond with you is because what you're saying is it's kind of like an "I told you so." People see where you can say "I told you so," and they do everything in their willpower to get you from saying "I told you so," and they still have to say it without saying it, because the actions or the development of what you said has to happen anyway. Ouroboros, come through. Infinity, eternal, past life. You've been here, done that. You've been here, done that. 2, 3, 4. You've been here. You've always had a process in this lifetime where you are always rising up from the underworld. This is why Anubis is here in reverse then. Anubis went through more of an adopted way of life. He wasn't raised by his own mother. Show me Anubis energy. Oh, Venusian. Wow. So that's wild, because the higher octave of Venus is Neptune. Which is the unknown, but in the realm of water, or the element of water. This is giving strong whales and dolphins energy. So being able to hear things before they arrive is also something that's happening. Okay. Don't neglect what it is that you're hearing. Certain things that you're hearing, you can hear exactly who it is. But you're like, nah, challenge, 5 of Pentacles. You like, nah, they not really saying that shit. No, Age of Aquarius is like that. This is why I told y'all, if you are having a child between in this age of Aquarius, so that's this year, but it's gonna go retrograde. Pluto's gonna be going retrograde before it actually sits in Aquarius next year, until the year 2044. You're having a child next year into the years of into 2044. That's not the one you want to sit here and lie to. And a lot of you are developing that skill because you already carry that. So you've always carried that seed, but now that we're getting closer to it, it's developing at a higher rate. So this is why you got to be in a stronger connection to your core values. It's Venusian energy. And some of your core values has a lot to do with the underworld. So you may want to look more into the practices of the underworld. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is great. Let me see. I don't know who y'all are in here, but I mean, I know who you are, but physically, I don't know you. But energy-wise, when I say I don't know, I don't think you realize who you are. It's like but it's time for you to get away from people that make you feel like you're too weird. Nah. No. You're a prototype of this age. Stop hiding. What's the possible outcome? I know this shit didn't come out with 2 cards. I was like, if this shit come out with 2 cards in my head, You got the Magician and the. Some of you get tapped in with the Order of the Blue Rose and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Because with those two coming out as a possible outcome, we just went off like that. What's this? Okay, that's source is amazing. Okay, I have to pause this. Notice how in tarot decks, right? You get to see the fool's journey. The card right after the fool could have been the greatest lesson where it could have been the greatest lesson where it's just like there isn't an abuse of power. It could have easily been the Fool card, Death card. But it goes from the Fool card to the Magician, to the High Priestess, to the Empress, to the Emperor, to the Hierophant. It's like you get on this high. It's kind of like psychedelics. It's just why there's a way to use it. There's definitely a way to use it. And it's the same with tarot cards. But you go from the Fool, stepping into automatically being a magician, to then being a high priestess, to then being an empress, to then being an emperor, to then being a hierophant, to then, what's after the hierophant? The Lovers. Now the Lovers is about making a decision. Do you want to keep going? Because now that you have all this information, it's about to get real. You got the Chariot, number 7. You have the Strength card, number 8, which speaks of taming that beast that can easily arise with all of these tools that you're granted with because you decided to keep going on this journey. Then you have the Great Hermit. Now it's time for you to go through the dark night of the soul to really get acquainted with your shadow side, which more than likely led you to want to continue this fool's journey. And then you get to the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the current situation of this spread for y'all today is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Some of y'all backing out of a journey that you can't even back out of anymore. This is why they say the spiritual journey ain't for everybody. People start to see their own demons and they want to run away from shit. You been signed that contract. Once you went from the Fool to the Magician, this ain't about selling your soul. Now this is a whole different. This is realigning with your soul. So you decided to realign with your soul, which meant that you're going to see the truths of this world. My belly getting hot right now. Welcome, Fatima Ashe. Ooh-wee. And some of you backed out of it because you realized how much you were being left out of or how much you had to disconnect from. I'm going to tell you something right now. As long as you're here on this channel, you did that option to go back into a caterpillar while you're already in the cocoon. You're just going to be walking goo at this point. Why would you do that to yourself? This is why people got to be mindful of what it is that they're tapping into. And you only have to be mindful because the spell on the majority, when it comes to the collective, is so strong that is the energy that's being pulsated constantly to the collective. Fear, 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 fear. Fuck a fear. Keep going. Keep going, because right after the Wheel of Fortune, you got the Justice card where things start to get balanced out. Okay. Hold on. It's a yellow book. I mean, honestly, you can choose any one of those versions because it's like a Bible with different versions. So, you know, but it's the one I like. It's by Dr. Raymond Faulkner because there's a lot of translations of it, so you can also look up the original if you want to, but I'm familiar with that one by Dr. Raymond Faulkner. But yeah, you get to, after the Wheel of Fortune, 111, 11 on the timer. Shit. You're welcome. Welcome, D. You get to 11, the Justice card, where it's like balancing things, art is still Pisces though. You're balancing things out, and this balance has to do with your heart being as light or even lighter than a feather. And once you're there, you go to the major arcana of number 12. Why am I drawing a blank as to what 12 is? Isn't that's the hangman? That's why I said Pisces did. Okay. Because now you're light enough to go through the unknown. Because part of the reason why people have to be, or people are so logical in this realm of earth, because everything is materialized. So if it's not seen with their two eyes, they won't believe it. But when you take this fool's journey, things doesn't have to be materialized for you to know that it's there. Then once you go through that uncomfortable state, this is the Christ oil energy now, because the hangman, number 12, is also connected to number 33. You got 33 vertebrae in your spine. And the 33rd one is right up under your skull. So anytime the energy is able to get to that point, the 33rd degree, you already know where that comes from too. Okay? You are the son of Mama Universe. You are the daughter of Mama Universe. Or just the physical representation. When you speak of my son, you are the physical representation of the universe. And through this entire fool's journey, you're realizing what that means. These tarot cards are the Bible written out just in pictures. That's what it is. Or any religious text for that matter. So once you get to the hangman, that is crazy, because the 33rd, once you get there, that's the crucifixion. And then after the hangman is the death card, which is the fucking crucifixion. But this is also where you resurrect. As an angel, as someone who is enlightened, you become the light of the world. Temperance, you know how to control yourself, your physical vessel, as the time that it is in this realm. And once you know that, obviously just know 15 Capricorn energy, when it comes to the earthly realm, you're going to be tested again. But this is to see how strong you are now when it comes to the journey you had prior to that. And then once you pass that test of Saturn, here comes the Tower, where anything and everyone, especially when it comes to those beings that were connected to the electrical impulses of your nerves that were connected to you to distract you, they go. And then you end up at the star. And now you have a different 11441. Now you have a different way of expressing your emotions. The moon card after the star. You have a different way of expressing what it is that you truly feel based on what you know and what you express in the external world. So the moon is reflecting the sun, and the moon card comes before the sun card. And then again, when you get to number 20, the Judgment card, here comes another version of the Lover's card. I just said, who do you love? You got to be sure about that. Do you love yourself or do you love the world? This is where you get in this world, but not of it. And then 21, the world card, you complete the cycle. So some of you could literally, because you got stuck here at this Wheel of Fortune state, the possible outcome is once you made that decision to not put the work in, you had to come back to the Magician. Not even the Fool card. Like Source didn't send you back to being a fool again. It at least sent you back to being a magician to show you, and it's going to show you through your dream state everything that you have actually manifested just within your thoughts or the way that you put that energy forth. Good Lord. I didn't know you was going to get this type of message today. I'll be listening. Okay. Let me see what's next. We can clarify that. I was just about to not do that, but we can do it. Clarify the Chariot with the Magician as a possible outcome. See what got you here. Because you got 71 up top and then you got 17 at the bottom. So you got options right now. You're in the thick of it. Awesome. You got the King of Cups that came out again. It's the family-oriented person, the one who's tapped into their intuition. Reliable, wise, trustworthy, affectionate. So this is like a decision whether someone is affecting you or infecting you. Six of Cups. Soulmate. But some of this has to do with the partner. In and out with the decision you have to make here. Taurus. Taurus could be significant. Seven of Pentacles. There it goes. We were just talking about before with the Eight of Pentacles. But this is a different deck. But notice how in this Seven of Pentacles this is basically your higher self helping you through the gestation process. That plant that's actually above the soil, this will happen come Aries season. But what's happening here for some of you as to why you're going backwards in the situations, because you don't see this yet, but it's already there. It's already there. You just have to really get fully connected with your imagination. And for some of you, that imagination is blocked because of the inner child. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see, baby, what's next? Because as far as what's next, nothing will come of this situation. Having faith in your dreams is in reverse. Hold on. The fact that it's in reverse. This phase already passed though, because this was right after the new moon. New moon in Pisces. You realize it wasn't going to come from a situation that you was putting too much work into. And the conclusion from a decision that you made at that point is within reach. Let's see here. What's in the immediate future? I like this Ten of Wands because this is you being more aware of the burdens that you were carrying and how to actually use that now. That's Saturn and Sag. You're learning, you're applying this higher knowledge. Five of Swords. There's people that you were working with in terms of this energy that you were wanting to help. That it's gonna show, but it's not gonna show when you're around them. So okay, this is an example. You show somebody how to do something, right? As far as like how to heal from a situation, but they don't use it while you're in their presence. But the moment you step away is when they actually start to apply that. This is the foundation of this 10 of Wands, and this is why you're going to start feeling stronger. You may not even realize like why you're feeling much stronger is because one, you have called your power back to you, and you calling your power back to you because you were giving too much. The time to give rather than take. You were giving too much and showing the world the real you. Here, full moon in Aquarius, and then it says the end to a tough cycle approaches. So there was possibly an argument that had to happen for you to be tested on your commitment to your path in general, the powers that you have to help people, and powers that you have to help people may also involve you knowing when to step away from situations. Okay. So with the 10 of Wands coming up here in your immediate future, as we said before, speaking of the 9 of Wands, and that you see how the character is holding this one wand, which would be like the Ace of Wands. So this is like a new beginning, a restart. So you may have an ascended master life path of 11, 22, and 33, or you're moving that way. Regardless of what your life path is between 1 and 9, okay, you're stepping into at least the visionary, master builder, master teacher, master visionary, master builder, master teacher in this 10 of Wands space. What's the advice? What's the advice? There we go, baby. There we go. There we go. We just talk about the whole process of the Fool's journey, right? The possible outcome was that you was about to turn back around and do something over again that you have mastered. Okay. You have mastered it so much, you know exactly what I mean when it comes to you possibly misusing it. But for your advice here, you got, you got justice and temperance. But it came out this way. So the justice card was behind the temperance card. Okay. So some of you are going through a process of descension. You may want to get familiar with your descendant sign. So it's the opposite of your rising sign. This can tell you about the energy that is not putting you through this test, or give you an example of what this looks like in your physical realm. Because that's another way for you where you shouldn't be blaming other people for shit. It's just more so like, just look at how your placements are set up and just focus on what you're here to do as far as energy is concerned and points of light are concerned. Because that's what the natal chart can help you with, where there could be a difficult civilization. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 40 on a timer. There could be a difficult situation that you have been going through since you were able to perceive your reality. That the moment you step into your natal chart, you're able to see where everything actually fits in, so you can redefine your narrative, or kind of like give your ethereal body acupuncture so you can reopen up the channels type shit. So with the advice of temperance and justice here, 1411, that's 211. And then speaking of the process we was talking about, how are you giving them this option here for the advice between the possible outcome and the advice? Source, how are you giving them this option? Because your immediate future is the 10 of Wands. But the 10 of Wands in this deck is a victorious person carrying all of that energy where they were the wounded warriors. Chiron is significant. You're seeing where that has deeply wounded you, is also giving you your strength. But if you keep letting it wound you, that's all it's going to do. especially if it's a Chiron energy in your chart. So this is what I mean about natal charts. Like some of y'all going through shit in your life that has to do with your Chiron. That's why it's been coming up like the last 3 lives. Once you see what that is, stop focusing on the physical person. Just connect to your overstanding from realizing, okay, if I have Chiron and Virgo, then there could be a situation where you're experiencing this type of wounded energy where it starts to be triggered around Virgo energies or at work. You know what I'm saying? So this is about you being holding yourself accountable for what you know. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you something right now. There's no reason why you don't know. Especially if you're watching tarot readings, this is the time for you to put, Ace of Cups. This is the time for you to really put more emphasis on your evolution as to why things are happening. And if you're going to be watching tarot for drama and all this other shit, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is my ancient soul speaking to you, that's not what you want to use it for. This ain't the age for that. If he was diddly and dallying up into this age of Pisces, do what you do. In the age of Aquarius, you better know what you're doing. So the connection between your advice and the possible outcome is the Ace of Cups. Okay, this speaks of unconditional love, supreme unconditional love, spiritual fulfillment. But you see where the cup is, right? Right in that heart space, which is also the Empress energy. The Emperor is Aries, which also speaks of I am, your life force, your temperament. You also got Temperance as your advice. Remember when we talked about this Justice card, because you're being advised right now. This ain't no joke. I don't know who you are, but some of you in here, you know better, but you ain't been doing that. You got this Wheel of Fortune coming out in reverse as your current situation. And just like I told you, right after the Wheel of Fortune, the 10th major arcana, you have the advice of the 11th major arcana. So this is the macrocosm speaking to you when it comes to your possible outcome, your current situation, and your advice. So with you also got a major arcana as your foundation. So your foundation, your possible outcome, your current situation, if you fight this off, I kid you not, that's your ass. I'm a messenger, right? Okay. That's your ass. With Saturn going to Pisces, if you keep ignoring what you know, which is in connection to what you believe, that's your ass. And a great example as to that's your ass, watch how all of these religious leaders about to get their ass handed to. Because there's a lot that's in that Vatican that got a lot to do with tarot cards. But meanwhile, the followers of that system see this shit as a curse. Oh, a curse comes from words. It comes from the expression of words. So, we get to the root of it. You see the problem. So the key is about this entire message is get to the root of it. And quick. Let me look at this. What's the Temperance energy here? Because the Ankh around the Temperance waist is in reverse. You see how these cups are being poured, but it's being spilled. That's like a energy leak. Some of you really need to balance out your energy because you're leaking. Do what you have to do for the moment, but don't get sucked in there, especially if you're somebody who's supposed to be, earning your financial resources through your gifts and through your creativity, because that's also the age that we're in. Okay. If you're somebody with like Neptune in the 6th house, no, you just, that 9 to 5 is not for you at all. Neptune, Capricorn, Neptune, it's not for you. 9 to 5 is not for you. Do what you got to do, but it's not for you. Some of you are sitting here climbing up a corporate ladder that it's just, Temperance is a shadow. I see me in you too. So that's your advice. It's everything that's being reflected back to you has a lot to do with your growth. Yeah, definitely stop fighting it off and do what you got to do just to shift. I get it. You may feel like there's certain things you got to sacrifice, but you got Hero, Geronimo. I'm looking at this as Haru. Hours. What's the planetary hour right now? Jupiter. Okay, I'd love to hear it. Just do what you got to do. Everything is being reflected back to you. Hermes. Wow. Thoth energy, Odin's energy, Wednesday, Mercury. Choosing wisdom over intelligence. Well, there it is. Your shadow is in the position to choose wisdom over intelligence. I told you this shit earlier. There you go. I am in the League of Angels, Angles of Light, Archangel. Things are being bridged for you already because the shadow, the dark, the space of gestation, the space of growth, the womb space is already activating this energy to create, even if you're not prepared to, because everything within you is connected to nature. We as humans have learned to disconnect from that because of a lot of these false ass doctrines. Enough of that. And you know how fear manifests when it comes to a blockage in the sacral chakra, you not getting along with your family or close ones, or vice versa. They may have a fear of doing something. You may give them the tools to do it, okay? But it's time for you to walk away from that. You've been giving them the tools on what to do. This is your immediate past energy. And some of you have absorbed that to a point where you blocked yourself from what you're supposed to do. No more. That doesn't mean you love them any less, though. If anything, you love them more because the information that you give them that could help them, you think it could help them because it helps you, but it's actually detrimental to them. Okay? So let's see what's in your environment, baby. Let's see. Look at that, the moon card. So what's this in the environment that's being revealed? What's this? Okay. You got the Page of Cups and the Strength card. All right. Some of you are turning away specifically from a Leo. For some of you have to loosen up the reins on your children. Especially if you got, If this child is a Pluto and Capricorn generation, you hear me mention that quite often. Why? They know how to live off the bare minimum. They are the elders and the ancestors. Pluto and Capricorn generation is, they are the elders and the ancestors. They're directly from Saturn, Capricorn. Or they know how to operate with Saturn when it comes to the way that they transform. Okay. So, right before that, you would have Pluto and Sag. Some of you have children who are Pluto and Sag generation, or you may be a Pluto and Sag generation. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Y'all got to be careful with the way people talk to you about what they see as what is the path of success. You're a free spirit. You can easily cage yourself in based on information because it sounds like higher knowledge. So your key as a Pluto and Sag, or if you have Pluto and Sag children, to make sure you surround them with higher knowledge, so they're not sitting here getting sucked in. Because that's the generation that we really got to be careful with. Really have to be careful with. They're transformational gods. Ninth house, Sag, gods. But they have to be connected to their imagination. They have to be connected to higher knowledge, which means they have to question everything. And seeking higher knowledge, you're questioning it all. So if you're a parent to someone of Pluto and Sagittarius, let them question you. If you start giving them attitude, just know you about to create a whole monster. You about to create a monster that you do. The only thing that's going to control them is them controlling themselves. Pluto and Scorpio, this generation here, we with the shits. We all about that transformation. We we are part of that age where you either burn at the stake or you always came with some form of change because you knew the depths of where to change things from. It's the generation of the occult. We are the generation of the occult. And so much has been hidden from that generation, 83 to 95, for that reason. But know this, how much of it cannot be hidden. 95, 90, late 94, early 95. You still coming back around with the info. Pluto and Virgo. Let me tell you something. If you got a Pluto and Leo parent and you want Pluto and Scorpio, y'all not gonna get along until the Pluto and Leo generation parent realizes you're not the one to fuck with because you know your shit. But a Pluto and Virgo in between those two is really going. It's the peacemaker in the middle of a full blown out war. Cannons going off from each side, all sides, and you got the Pluto and Virgo like, no, let's pray. This ain't the fucking time to pray. We're gonna put this work in as prayer though. Because Virgo is also all about wellness, healing. So they're basically like the nurses and the healers during this type of energy that I just spoke about between Leo and Scorpio. But because they're doing that, think of yourself as an empath, healing other people. You in order to heal them, there's a portion of what it is that you're healing that you're also feeling, to be able to heal it, to be able to transmute it. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what's in your environment, baby. Shuffle this out. Yeah, I got me going today. What's being revealed in your environment? The Nine of Wands. Moon in Sagittarius. Some of you do have Pluto in Sag, or you have people around you that got a Pluto in Sag, and they're around you for a reason. And we just spoke about what the reason could possibly be. But your immediate future is the 10 of Wands. And what's in the environment? See? Oh, shit. So what's in the environment has to do with the wands that you're carrying here in your immediate future. So what I'm saying is, yeah, this situation is coming right back around. What situation? The same one you've been working on in the immediate past, but it was all part of your journeys for you to see the star that you are, the basis of your reading, okay? So that way you can come back to this angle of light, this enlightenment, where your heart is as light as a feather. So when this chaos starts to happen, there's a way for you to, okay, because the wars that are going on today are more so spiritual wars, which has a lot to do with nature. So obviously what you're hearing about is more so the control that people have over, or have been attempting to, the control that people have over nature, because you do have people who know rain magic and can call in rain, can call in storms. That's always been a thing, okay? Because as within, so without. So obviously these powers that be have a connection to this, misusing it. But there comes a time where, see, it's the collective has a micro version of all of that, of the bigger picture. So a smaller version of that energy that's happening in the world or globally, you're experiencing through partnerships, through friendships, which means that there are certain core values that are going to come to an end, which is why you have these friends before you get to your soul tribe, 2 different groups. Yo, Dr. B nailed that shit, because the only difference between friend and the fiend is the letter R. Who are you? That'll determine who you got as friends. And that you also hear that too. Tell me who your friends are so I can tell you who you are. Oh, Lord. Shout out to Source. Show me more about this energy in the environment with the 9 of Wands. Knight of Coins. It's a long time coming. You have to develop some strength here. That's why the Strength card came out, pulled up like that with the Page of Cups. You have to develop some strength here to turn away from this emotional offer. This may have already happened. That's why the 1 to 5 days was in reverse. Because Page of Cups is within the next 5 days. And you have 1 to 5 days in reverse, which this already happened. So this could be a reading where some of you are thinking about something, and your process of thought is what has this Wheel of Fortune on hold. 144.02 on the timer. Let's go. Let me get one more. 7 of Coins in reverse. Yeah, this is definitely something that has to do with the past, that you keep putting your energy into, that you feel is a soulmate. But just see it for what it is. See it exactly for what it is. Know your core values so you can determine what to do next. You know what? In saying that, 144.30, this is how weird, I ain't gonna say weird, because weird is Hagalaz, rune knowledge, rune language. Weird, which is inevitable fate. So we could use that. But anytime you say that you really like someone, you're just covering up for the word love, because the collective has been tainted about that word love. That's another thing Dr. B said. And now when I mention anything from Dr. B, is because my soul resonates with it, because I hear the verbiage that in the way that it's being expressed. Okay. especially when it comes to the etymology of words. So going back to friend, the only thing different between friend and fiend is that R. The only thing in difference between like and lie is that K. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Don't get hit out here by a smooth criminal now. And there's plenty of those. Different shapes and forms. What is the message about the hopes and fears? Nine of Swords. What's this Nine of Swords? It's been causing anxiety. Your hopes and fears been causing anxiety. Page of Coins. For some of you, that's family, because I mentioned that the Page of Coins always was followed up with the Ten of Pentacles, which speaks of a family basis. But here we have Nine of Swords and the Tower. Wow. Yes, Fatima be knowing. Fatima, that's that soul tribe right there. You hear me? My intuitive Fatima, listen. We got the Tower and the Nine of Swords with the Page of Swords. So the anxiety is what you have to disconnect from. And remember that before this Tower card, you have 15, temptation, 14, temperance, 13, death, 12, hangman, 11, justice. So your advice carries 11 and 14. And in the position of your hopes and fears, which is also causing this Wheel of Fortune in your current situation to be in reverse. Meanwhile, you do have this Star card, which is the healing from the situation at the basis of it all. So all of this is rising up for you to heal from it, but you're going to have to detach. Remember, love is not attachment. So whatever you think you loving because you're attached to it, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not what it is. And like I said, it's the same reason why we got funerals. The last thing you should be seeing when it comes to a person that has to transition is the way they look in that motherfucking coffin. I come straight from the underworld. Don't play with me. The current outcome here is the Three of Coins. Because that energy keeps bringing back that cycle. And also brings with it the cycle of war and weapons because of greed, of certain forms of knowledge, that if people have this form of knowledge, then this side can't have this form of knowledge because somebody's going to get too happy with the shit. That's the macro of it. But the micro is what you experience in life. So with this outcome with the Three of Coins here, it's time for you to connect. Even if we're 2 or 3 gather, I am there. I am there, the God version of you. Connect with those that you can be connected to your God version of yourself with the King of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. Okay? What else here with the Three of Coins? And we got the King of Cups once again. Align with those who have the same passion and emotion, or those you can learn from. Some of y'all are really selling yourself short with people that get excited because they can learn from you, but can you learn from them too? Then we got the Fool right at the bottom of the deck. And like I said, right after the Fool is the Magician. Once you decide to take that leap of faith, there go Anubis right here, or the Dog Star, which is also here. It's showing you how much strength you build to the point you became human. You are a human version of God. Yeah, listen. Oh boy. Y'all. It's really time to get to it. Stop being afraid. Do what you gotta do. Because the only thing you're gonna put on hold is your greatest life. With this full moon in Virgo, it's really going to have you sit down and really look at what you have the habit of doing, because Virgo, 6th house energy, is habits, your dream state, even your psychic development, the use of herbs and oils, eating greener. So even while this whenever you have a strong moon phase like this in Virgo, whenever the moon is in Virgo, you may notice that you want to cleanse. Go ahead and do so. But while this energy is coming through here with the full moon and Saturn going into Pisces, which is the polar opposite of Virgo, it's like you're about to be shown the test that you have experienced when it comes to what you believe in, what you've been analyzing based on those beliefs, and what are you going to do and utilize based on what you know. How are you going to utilize what you know? So do what you know. Do what you know, and I love you.